So Chonc's treasure is finally up for set 12, which means it's the best chance you have to experience all of the 3-star 5 costs in the game. In this video I'm going to explain exactly what I do whenever I want to hit, and this works very consistently. I did the same thing in the set 5.5 revival, and even though it is slightly harder now because in set 5.5 the bag sizes were around 1450, whereas now for the 5 costs it's only 9, it's still very simple to do because of the amount of gold you get throughout Chonc's treasure. The name of the game here is Econ. You have to prioritize Econ over everything. So what you should do as soon as you load in, pick an Econ portal. Every time you get the option, take an Econ augment, especially at 2-1. Early game, try and hit your Econ thresholds as soon as you can. If this means you have to sell units on your board and you'll have 2 units even though you're level 3, so be it. Just make Econ no matter what. But you have to remember, health is also a form of Econ. So try and get any upgrades you can. For example, at 3-5, you always get 2 duplicators. Use these duplicators to 2-star some 3 costs. This will save you a lot of HP in the long run, and it's better than the 3 gold you'll get from them by just duplicating and selling. Now with the overview out of the way, let's get into the step-by-step guide of what I do every single game to hit the 3-star 5 costs I need. Before you even load into the game, I'd like you to angle towards a comp with at least 2 5 costs. This gives you multiple targets to hit, because if one of them is contested, it's going to be really hard, so you want as many targets as possible. For example, I frequently aim for multi-strikers, and even though you might say the default multi-strikers comp only has a Camille in it, frequently you will go for Smolder, because you get a lot of spatulas and emblems throughout the game, which allows you to make multi-striker Smolder, which is a very strong unit. So that's just one example of a comp with 2 5 costs in it. There's plenty of other examples throughout the game, you just pick whichever one you prefer. Now, once you finally load it into your game, select an Econ portal available. This isn't necessary, but it will help you significantly, so if one is available, take it. Once you reach stage 2-1, pick any Econ augment available. Reroll all your options if needed. 3-star 5 cost is still very doable without this, but an Econ augment, especially at 2-1, makes it significantly easier. And for your 3-2 and 4-2 augments, I personally still go for Econ augments, but it's not as necessary as 2-1. You can go for other options if you need. In terms of items, you've heard this before, but it applies even more in Chonc's treasure. Don't greed, just slam everything to preserve HP. You're playing for a 3-star 5 cost anyway, so items will not matter. As soon as you cast, you win anyway. The only exception to this is if you play against another 3-star 5 cost. So throughout the game, build a QSS, build an Edge of Night, and this will protect you against that. Other than that, don't care about your items, it does not matter. Once you reach 50 Econ, only focus on XP, do not reroll at all. The only time you might need to reroll is if you natural a lot of units that fit into your comp, for example 5 units. In one of my games, I was playing multi-strikers, and I ended up naturaling a lot of Hecarim's, I think it was around 5, which meant I only need to roll for 2 more since I was guaranteed 2 duplicators at 3-5, and this allowed me to 3-star and preserve lots of HP. So unless you're naturaling a lot of units and it allows you to 3-star, I would not recommend rolling, just focus on XP. Now with your Econ augment, the Chonc's treasure Econ, and only focusing on XP, you should hit level 10 around 4-7 to 5-5 by the latest. From there, just slow roll above 50 and pick up upgrades to preserve HP. Also, now that you're level 10, you'll be able to collect the copies of the 5 costs that you're trying to roll for. At this point, you should also scout the lobby to see what 5 costs are being played. Unlike the revival, there's only 9 copies, so contesting will actually affect you. Even though duplicators exist, it's still a lot easier if there aren't many people contesting you. From my personal experience, Millie and Camille are very uncontested, whereas champions like Xerath and Morgana are very contested. But once again, we're just trying to experience all the 3-star 5 costs before the set ends, so just go for whatever you want to hit and whatever you haven't experienced before. Either at stage 6-1 or a bit later, you're going to reach a point where you have 1 life. Now this is the most important and crucial thing I do that helps me hit my units consistently. Once you lose a round that takes you to 1 life, or if you're 1 life on 5-7, you need to get ready for a big roll on the next turn, which means you need to do everything possible to save time. First thing is, clear your team planner and only put the 5 costs you're rolling for. Try to roll for at least 2 or 3 to increase the targets you're looking for. I only go for 2 because I struggle to keep track of 3 units mentally in terms of how close I am. And this is important, because if you're rolling for 3, you need to know which ones you're closest to in case your bench runs out of space so you can sell the units. And personally with 3, I cannot keep track of them, so I just end up wasting time looking at my bench, seeing what I'm closest to. So I only go for 2. But if you can keep track of 3, then by all means, go for 3 different units. Also, before your next turn, sell everything on your bench except the 5 costs you're rolling for. This is going to make our roll down a lot easier. Now, the crucial thing is, as soon as the round begins, sell everyone on your board except for your 5 costs. I usually move my 5 costs to one of the bottom corners so I don't accidentally sell them, but this takes time. So if you know that you won't misclick and sell your 5 costs, then you don't need to do this and just sell everything on your board. Also, you can use E to sell rather than dragging them down, and this will save you a lot of time. Now at this point, you only have the 5 costs you're looking for on your board and bench and on your team planner, which means you can just mindlessly roll down and just click all of the glowing units. And to be honest, that's all there is to it. After you sell everything, you should have close to 100 gold, and at level 10 odds, it's quite likely you hit. You might miss because you're getting contested or you just got unlucky, but for me personally, I've been able to successfully hit whenever I've done this process. The key that makes it really easy is just selling your entire board at level 10 because you have a lot of money to roll down with. For some of you, you might find that you can't roll through all your gold quick enough, or that you rush and panic and skip units. If that's the case for you, then the round before you hit 1 life, you can roll down through all of your gold then. And then, once you do hit 1 life, you can roll down the rest of your gold after you sell your entire board. Now, while this means you'll have 5 less gold, which is 2 to 3 shops depending on if your gold was odd or even, you should still be fine because you still had a lot of gold to roll through. Also, you might hear some people say that you should hold the 5 costs that you're not looking for to reduce the number of them in the pool, therefore making it more likely that you hit your own 5 costs. While this does make sense, for me, I just find it fills my bench way too fast and leaves me dizzy trying to figure out who on my bench to sell, so I personally wouldn't recommend this. That's pretty much all I do, and for me, I found that I've been able to hit my 3-star 5 costs very consistently and very easily whenever I've gone through this process. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, I'll be happy to answer. I hope this video helps you experience all the 3-star 5 costs in the game, and good luck.